Hello and welcome to Treewalker's What the Soil Remembers, Episode 7, The Plant That Kept Its Promise. In 1593, King Henry IV of France made a promise that became famous. He said he wanted no one in his kingdom so poor that they couldn't afford a chicken in their pot every Sunday. It was a vision of abundance, a ruler promising nourishment. But while kings were making speeches, people were already eating. For centuries, their pots had been filled not by a monarch, but by a plant. And they called that plant Good King Henry. And oh my gosh, here we go again. Chenopodium bonus-henricus. Sure, that's what we'll call it. Good King Henry wasn't rare. It wasn't exotic. And it wasn't something you bought every spring. It was a perennial. You planted it once and it came back year after year, quietly feeding families across Europe from the Middle Ages through the early industrial era. From England to Germany, it anchored cottage gardens, monastery plots, and village kitchens alike. It didn't depend on markets. It didn't depend on supply chains. And it didn't depend on soil. Oops. It did depend on soil and time. Got ahead of myself there, huh? Kind of need good soil to grow it, don't you? But if you had stepped into a Tudor garden in the 1500s, Good King Henry would have been familiar. In early spring, it sent up thick shoots that were cooked like asparagus. A little later, broad leaves followed, tender and nourishing, used the way we now use spinach. It kept producing all the way until frost. For generations, it was the backbone of simple meals, soups, stews, broths. Food meant to last, not to impress. Even the Romans knew it. Pliny the Elder wrote of a plant so valued that Emperor Tiberius demanded it as tribute from conquered lands. Historians believe this plant was Good King Henry. It wasn't luxury food. It was dependable food. It was food that helped you fill your belly. I could use some food to help me fill my belly right now. I'm a little hungry. I'm recording this after work. But modern nutrition confirms what people already knew. Studies comparing perennial vegetables show that Good King Henry outperforms many modern greens across multiple nutrients. Iron, calcium, vitamin C, and B vitamins among them. And it did all this without annual labor. No tilling every spring. No replanting. No buying new seed. It simply returned. So why, you may ask, did it disappear? Well, the answer isn't mysterious. It's mechanical. In the early 1700s, agriculture began shifting toward efficiency measured in straight lines. Seed drills, favored crops, things that grew uniformly, in rows, from seed, every year. Good King Henry didn't cooperate. It grew in clumps. It spread by roots. It ignored the geometry of machines. Later, steel plows arrived. Tractors followed. These tools were designed to clear land completely and start fresh each season. Perennial root systems, deep, anchored, and persistent, resisted that process. In a system built around speed and repetition, performance became a problem. Then came the seed catalogs. Those things that we love to look at nowadays that show us things that we've forgotten from faraway lands. Annual plants made sense for business. You sell seed once, and you sell it again the next year. Perennials don't work that way. Once planted, they end the transaction. Unless you're like me and you leave them in a box and forget about them, then you buy them again. By the mid-20th century, perennial vegetables quietly vanished from commercial offerings. Not because they failed, but because they didn't need replacing. Unless you're like me, like I said. The world chose crops that reset every year, and something was lost. Annual agriculture requires disruption. The soil is broken open repeatedly. Roots never get the chance to go deep. Water runs off instead of soaking in. Nutrients are added externally instead of cycled eternally. Perennials like Good King Henry work differently. Their roots hold soil together year-round. They access deeper moisture. They suppress weeds naturally. They behave like ecosystems, not products. And while industrial agriculture expanded, Good King Henry didn't vanish completely. It just retreated into monastery gardens, old homesteads, the margins of fields. And there it sat, waiting. Now, the world is changing again. Soils are thinning. Chemicals have been poured onto the soils, robbing them of the nutrients. Water is becoming scarce more and more. The cost of constant inputs, well, they're rising too. And slowly, quietly, people are looking back. Good King Henry still exists. You can find it today. Plant it once, and it will return each spring. Not just for you, but for years after. It doesn't make promises. it keeps them. And, by the way, I'm going to plant some of that this year, too. This has been a Treewalker's What the Soil Remembers. Some food didn't disappear. It stepped aside and waited.